Tuesday, August 13th, 1521, early afternoon. You are standing on a stone causeway above dark water. Ahead of you is Tenochtitlan, the greatest city in the Americas, barely visible through smoke drifting low across the lake. The air smells of ash and rot. The water below is clogged with broken canoes, shattered shields, and bodies that no one has time to retrieve. The city is silent in a way that doesn't make sense. You move forward slowly. What were once wide streets are now narrow trenches of rubble. Buildings lean at unnatural angles. Temples that once dominated the skyline are cracked open, their steps slick with blood and rain. People pass you carrying bundles. Some are wounded, some are sick, some are children walking without parents, gripping objects that no longer matter. No one is running. Then you hear it. Boots on stone, steel clattering, voices speaking a language that doesn't belong here. The fighting isn't chaotic anymore. It's controlled, measured, street by street, bridge by bridge. This isn't a battle, it's an ending. And as the last defenders retreat toward the heart of the city, one question hangs over everything. How did the city, this powerful, collapse from the inside out? To understand what's happening now, you have to rewind. Before the smoke, before the hunger, before the siege. Tenochtitlan wasn't just a city, it was an engineering marvel. Built on islands in a vast lake, connected by causeways and canals. It was clean, organized, and constantly in motion. Fresh water flowed in from distant springs. Canoes moved through canals carrying food, tools, people. Markets fed hundreds of thousands. Trade routes stretched across Mesoamerica, bringing goods from mountains, jungles, and coasts. The city smelled of maize, flowers, water, and smoke. From above, it felt alive, layered, confident, permanent. At its center stood massive temples where religion, politics, and power merged into one. Stone stairways rose toward the sky. Rituals marked time. Authority flowed downward from the gods to the people. This was the heart of an empire, and for generations it seemed unbreakable. So when strangers arrived from the east, pale-skinned men in metal armor, riding animals no one had ever seen, the city didn't panic. They were welcomed, watched, studied, at first, because no one yet understood what they had brought with them. The first signs of collapse don't come from weapons, they come from sickness. People begin falling ill in clusters, fever, sores, death within days. The illness moves faster than messengers, faster than soldiers. Entire neighborhoods go quiet, not slowly, all at once. Families isolate the sick behind closed doors. Healers work until they collapse themselves. Bodies pile up faster than they can be buried. There is no cure, no immunity, no explanation that makes sense. Leaders die, warriors weaken. The city loses its ability to respond, not all at once, but piece by piece. At the same time, rumors spread. The strangers are not alone. Long oppressed rivals of the empire are joining them. Thousands of indigenous warriors who know the land, the causeways, the weaknesses. The lake that once protected Tenochtitlan begins to feel like a trap. Food deliveries stop arriving. Fresh water becomes scarce. The aqueducts are destroyed. The causeways are cut. The city is sealed. And now people begin asking questions they never had to ask before. The siege doesn't begin with a single attack. It tightens slowly. Spanish ships patrol the lake, destroying canoes. Bridges are dismantled at night. Access points vanish one by one. Inside the city, hunger spreads faster than fear. Families ration food that no longer comes. Children grow weak. The sick lie untreated. The dead are buried hurriedly, if they're buried at all. Days lose meaning, hunger dulls fear, the sound of fighting becomes background noise. People stop asking when it will end and start asking if it ever will. Still the city fights. Defenders tear up their own streets to create traps. Attackers are lured into water and killed. For a time it works, but the attackers keep coming, and with each retreat the city shrinks, block by block, canal by canal, bridge by bridge. By the time people realize there will be no relief, no rescue, no negotiation, there is nowhere left to go. Now, back in the present, the final resistance is collapsing. The canals are choked with bodies. The air burns your lungs. Smoke blots out the sun. The sounds of battle fade into scattered cries and distant commands. The last ruler, Cuauhtémoc, is still fighting. He refuses to surrender, refuses to abandon the city, because leaving would mean admitting something unthinkable, that the gods themselves have turned away. When he finally attempts to escape across the lake, he doesn't make it far. He is captured. With that, organized resistance ends, and for the first time since the siege began, the city falls quiet. What follows is worse than the siege. The city is looted, temples are torn down, sacred stones are repurposed. Anything that once defined Tenochtitlan is dismantled and reused. Where the city once stood, a new one begins to rise. The lake is drained, the canals are filled, streets are rebuilt directly on top of ruins. Tenochtitlan isn't erased in a single moment, it's buried, stone by stone, year by year, memory fading faster than the ruins beneath it. Over time, the city disappears from sight, but not completely, because beneath modern streets, beneath stone and concrete, the foundations are still there. And centuries later, when archaeologists uncover fragments of temples and skull racks, they realize the truth. Tenochtitlan didn't fall because it was weak. It fell because it faced forces it could never have prepared for: disease, betrayal, and a world colliding with its own. And for a moment, you were there.